Walter White spent 5 seasons convincing himself he was the smartest person in every room, and most of the time, he was. But being the smartest person in the room doesn't mean much when you're also the one leaving a gas mask at a crime scene, carrying $500,000 in cash past your DEA brother-in-law.
That's the spirit.
Or walking a live pipe bomb through a hospital hallway. So here is every time Walter White's own decisions nearly brought the whole thing crashing down.
You got me.
Number 1. Planting a bug inside the DEA office. By season 5, Walt is running the most successful meth operation Albuquerque has ever seen, and he needs to know whether the DEA has started tracking his methylamine supply. Walt's move was to walk into a federal building, sit across from his DEA agent brother-in-law, and pretend to cry about his marriage falling apart. He asks Hank for coffee. The moment Hank walks out, Walt plants a transmitter into Hank's computer and tucks a listening device inside a framed photo of Hank and Marie sitting right there on the desk. When Hank comes back, Walt is standing there looking at the picture. Hank figures his brother-in-law is just being sentimental. Number 2, the school gas mask. Go back to the very beginning. Walt and Jesse cook their first batch in a rolling RV, and things go sideways fast. A deal with Crazy 8 turns into a poisoning, a fire breaks out, and they end up crashing the RV in a ditch. Both of them pull on gas masks to protect themselves, and then, when it's over, they just toss the masks into the desert. That mask had J.P. Wynn High School stamped on it, where Walt teaches chemistry. The DEA runs it through the lab and hands Hank a direct link to Walt's workplace before the second episode is even over. Hank brings the mask to Walt. They go through the school's supply records together, and items are missing. Someone with access to the chemistry closet took equipment. Hank looks at Walt and makes a joke about people starting to wonder about him. Hank lets it sit there for what feels like a full minute before he starts laughing. The school janitor Hugo takes the fall because he had a minor possession charge and a set of keys. The mask is the single sloppiest mistake Walt makes in the entire series, and it happens on day 1. Number 3, the flashy car situation. Walt has already told his family that his sudden money comes from gambling winnings, and then in the space of a single afternoon, he buys himself a brand new Chrysler 300 and hands his teenage son the keys to a Dodge Challenger. 2 new cars, same day, from a high school teacher on a gambling cover story. Skylar is horrified, not because she doesn't want nice things, but because she understands exactly what this looks like from the outside. A paper trail connecting 2 expensive vehicle purchases to Walter White is the kind of thing that makes the IRS start pulling threads. Walt's response to her concern is to drive the Challenger to an empty parking lot, do donuts until he crashes it into a parking block, stuff the dealership paperwork into the gas tank, and set the whole thing on fire. Then he calls a taxi and watches it burn. The car was already registered in his name. If anyone nearby called 911, Walt would be facing criminal charges that have nothing to do with meth, but everything to do with drawing attention to his money. Number 4, Gale's notebook and the initials. In season 4, a chemist named Gale Boetticher is found shot dead in his apartment. Hank gets handed the case file while he's recovering at home, and one evening he pulls it out and shows Walt the evidence over dinner. He hands Walt the actual lab notebook. The notebook is filled with detailed meth production notes, chemical formulas, and step-by-step documentation that matches the blue meth Hank has been trying to trace for months. And on the front page, there's a handwritten dedication. To WW, my star, my perfect silence. Hank looks up. Walter White. Walt raises his hands like he's surrendering. He had Gale killed to protect himself. Walt created the evidence that almost caught him, then had to talk his way out of it across a dinner table. Number 5, the BMW explosion. This one happens before Walt has cooked a single batch. He's still a high school chemistry teacher. He's waiting for a parking spot outside a credit union when a man named Ken cuts in and takes it. Ken is loud, rude.
Come on, move your ass.
Hours later, Walt pulls into a gas station and Ken is there at the next pump, still on the phone. And instead of driving away, Walt walks over to Ken's BMW, opens the hood, and jams a windshield squeegee into the battery terminals. Walt walks away without a word. All it takes is one person who noticed him near the hood, or one investigator, and Walt is arrested for property destruction before his drug operation even starts.